She chuckled and said, "I only married you for the green card. The moment I swear in as a citizen next month, I'm out of here and back with the man I actually love." I looked at her and calmly answered, "Good to know. Appreciate the warning." The next morning, I attached the audio file of that exact conversation to an I-130 withdrawal and a detailed fraud report, then emailed everything to USCIS and IC. A week later, when she walked into her naturalization interview wearing her best, proud, almost American smile, federal officers were already waiting. They detained her on the spot. Looking back now, the whole thing feels like a dark comedy. At the time, not even slightly funny. Anyway, I'm Alex, 33, finance guy in New York. Solid income, comfortable, not private jet money. I stay in shape, dress well, have my act together. Point is, I wasn't some lonely dude who had to mail order a bride to get a date. I met Svetlana 3 years ago at a fintech conference in Miami. She was part of a delegation from a Moscow-based software company. Sharp, quick-witted, stunning. We clicked instantly. Swapped contacts, started texting nonstop, and before long we were doing the long-distance thing, flying back and forth every few weeks. 6 months in, she told me her J-1 visa was running out and she'd have to return to Russia if nothing changed. By that point, I was seriously into her. The chemistry was real, the conversations were easy, and we were already spending every free weekend together. She floated the idea of marriage, not in a desperate way, more like a practical fix. "Only if this is something you'd want anyway," she said. "No pressure." I thought about it. We got along great. Why wait? So we did it. City Hall. 2 friends as witnesses, nothing fancy. Filed the I-130 and I-485. She got her 2-year conditional green card. Rule is you stay married, act like a real couple, and after 3 years from the date on that conditional card, you can apply to remove conditions and eventually naturalize. Standard spousal immigration path. Year 1 was honestly pretty great. We traveled. Mexico, Portugal, weekend trips upstate. Normal newlywed stuff. She worked remotely for her Russian employer. I went into the office. Life felt good. Year 2, things started shifting. Nothing dramatic at first, just small stuff. She was glued to her phone more. Late calls with the team in Moscow, she'd say. Started going out with friends I'd never met or even heard of before. Whenever I asked who they were, the answer was always vague. Just people from the Russian-speaking crowd here. I didn't push. New country, new language. Of course she'd want people she could speak freely with. Year 3 was when the red flags became impossible to ignore. Suddenly, she had weekend plans every other week. Girls in Brighton Beach, old co-worker visiting from Toronto, quick trip to Vegas with Anya and Katia. Always last-minute announcements. I offered to tag along once. She shut it down fast. "You'd be bored. It's just us catching up." "Cool. I'm not possessive. Have your space." 2 months ago, she got the letter. 400 interview scheduled. 3 years exactly since the conditional card was issued. 1 final meeting, a civics test, oath ceremony, and she'd be a U.S. citizen. Free and clear, no more dependency on me. She was ecstatic, way more excited than she'd been about anything in a long time. I was happy for her. I even quizzed her on the practice tests. She nailed every single one. The interview was set for a Thursday morning 4 weeks away. Then, a week before the big day, I came home early. Brutal migraine. Just wanted to crash. I parked in the garage instead of the street, quiet entry. Walked in and heard her voice from the bedroom, speaking rapid Russian, laughing in that flirty way you only do with someone you're comfortable being intimate with. I don't speak a word of Russian. Never needed to. Her English was flawless. But tone travels across languages. This wasn't a work call. I stood frozen in the hallway, pulled out my phone, hit record, and held it toward the cracked door. Got the last 6 minutes. She ended the call with a soft, "Yetebia liabli da, love you too," in English, then hung up. I slipped back out, slammed the front door loud enough for her to hear, and walked in again like nothing happened. "Hey babe, home early, head is killing me." She popped out all casual, "Oh hi, feel better," and went right back to her laptop. That same night, I texted Mikhail from accounting, Russian guy, cool dude, and asked if he could translate a short audio clip for me. Told him it was work-related. Sent it over. Next morning, he replied with a Word doc. I opened it at my desk and felt the floor drop out. Word for word, it was her laughing about how she only had to put up with this charade for 4 more weeks. How I was completely clueless. How bored she was. How sweet it was that I was helping her study, like an eager little Labrador. How the plan had always been green card citizenship, dump the American husband, and move in with her real boyfriend. She even joked that I'd bounce back fast. Americans always find a new wife. I read it 4 times before it fully sank in. 3 years. 3 years of trips, holidays, shared friends, filing taxes together, building what I thought was a life. Everything calculated from day one. I wasn't devastated in the romantic sense. I was pissed. Offended on a cellular level. I'm a decent husband. I'm not loaded, but I'm far from broke. I treated her well. And this is what she thought of me? A walking ATM and a citizenship voucher? Hell no. I called an immigration attorney that afternoon. Explained the timeline. Sent him the original Russian audio and Mikhail's certified translation. He got back to me in an hour. This is textbook INA 204, C. Marriage fraud. You entered in good faith. She never did. You have every right to report it, withdraw support, and let the chips fall. What happens to her? Citizenship denied, conditional residency terminated, removal proceedings. Almost certainly deported. The recording makes it airtight. I asked him to draft everything. I-751 waiver withdrawal, detailed fraud allegation statement, the works. We had the package ready in under 36 hours. Sent it certified to the service center that processed her case, the fraud intake unit, and the field office doing her N-400 interview. Then I waited. Played it completely normal at home. Helped her practice more civics questions. How many voting members in the House? What is the economic system of the United States? She was giddy. Thursday morning came. She put on a navy blazer, white blouse, subtle makeup, the whole respectable future citizen look. Wish me luck, she said, kissing my cheek. Good luck, I replied, and meant it in the most ironic way possible. I called in sick, sat on the couch with coffee, and waited. 11:07 a.m. Unknown number. Mr. Morrison? This is Special Agent Ramirez, ICE. Your wife is in custody at 26 Federal Plaza. We executed the detainer you triggered. I put on my best shocked voice. Wait, what? What? She attempted to naturalize based on a fraudulent marriage. Your fraud package landed on the examiner's desk yesterday. We had plainclothes officers in the waiting room. She never saw it coming. An hour later, I was in an interview room downtown, giving a sworn statement, handing over phone logs, bank records, calendar screenshots of all those mysterious weekends. Agent said this was the cleanest fraud case he'd seen in years. She basically gift-wrapped it for them. That evening, I got the collect call from the detention center. Alex, please, you have to help me. Hysterical, sobbing. Slow down. What happened? They arrested me. They said you reported me. They said the marriage was fraud. Was it? Long silence. Then anger. You recorded me in our own home? That's illegal. Actually, New York is one-party consent, and it was my apartment. Perfectly legal. Please, I'm begging you. I'll lose everything. I can't go back to Russia. You should have thought about that before you spent 3 years lying to my face. I'm sorry. I got scared. We can fix this. I'll be better. You had 3 years to be better. You chose to wait until you didn't need me anymore. She cried harder. I hung up and blocked the facility number. Next day, I got a call from a 917 area code. Heavy Russian accent. Alex? This is Dmitry. The boyfriend. Hi. You need to drop the charges. She doesn't deserve this. She committed felony immigration fraud. That's not my call to drop. You Americans think everything is so easy. Tell you what, Dmitry. When she lands in Sheremetyevo next month, you can pick her up at arrivals. Bring flowers. Click. For the next 10 days, my phone blew up. Unknown numbers, WhatsApp calls, friends of friends from the Brooklyn Russian community I'd never met, all telling me I was cruel, heartless, destroying a young woman's future. I blocked every single one. Master calendar hearing was 2 weeks later. My attorney went for me. Text updates. She has a pro bono lawyer from some nonprofit. Played the recording in open court. She cried so hard the judge asked if she needed a break. Judge literally said, "Ma'am, the evidence is overwhelming. Removal ordered. 30 days voluntary departure or forcible deportation." She took voluntary. One last call, 2 nights before her flight. Alex, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Voice small, defeated. Okay. I really did like you in the beginning. It wasn't all acting. Doesn't matter now. I know. Dmitri dumped me the day I got detained. Said I became too much drama. His mother never liked me anyway. I almost laughed out loud. I'm going back with nothing. No job, no apartment, my parents are ashamed. I ruined everything myself. Sounds about right. Will you ever forgive me? Doubt it. That's fair. Take care of yourself, Alex. She hung up. I changed the locks the next day, boxed up everything she left behind, donated it all. A week later, the annulment on grounds of fraud was granted. No contest, marriage erased from existence like it never happened. Couple months on, I'm actually good. Apartment is peaceful again. Dating here and there, nothing serious. When people hear the story, their jaws drop. Then they start laughing because honestly, the sheer balls of her plan, the sloppiness of getting caught, because she couldn't resist gloating to her boyfriend in her own bedroom. She thought trust equals stupidity. Turns out trust plus a 5-minute recording equals one-way ticket back to Moscow. Lesson learned. Love might be blind, but immigration fraud has a very clear paper trail. And when someone whispers, "Я тебя люблю," to someone else while calling you a clueless puppy, maybe pay a coworker $20 for a translation. You never know what kind of comedy gold you'll uncover.